Wee's Little Bees. Carmen, obviously the star of the team, but I am the milkman. A little bit of a chant. Yeah, Big Trevor. You know, the man who milks, as they call him. We'll see. Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll see if if that comes to be, or if it'll be a little spoiled. We'll see coming into this. We've got a game number 1 coming through. 3Z Breezy is going to be on the Juliet, and we've got a Spark of Strength start, followed up by Aerials as well.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Borg. I'm joined here by Brickbat. A nice intro there. I mean, hey, laying it on the line. Like,
I do.
Everyone knows what's going on. Now I know what's going on, so thank you for that. I'm just a coach, guys. Look, I'm retired. I'm just here helping out the boys over on EKC, and I'm excited for this game though because it's a little return game. I'm excited to get back into it a bit, and one of my favorite teams, the Soondubu Strikers, going up against probably one of the most infamous teams, but one of my new favorite teams, Wee's Little Bees, and a lot more riding on this one, like you mentioned, you know, kind of so graciously to us early on. But if you take a look at some of these comps, we have kind of the battle of explosivity and the battle of just stability, right? You have Soondubu Strikers known for just their stable, chill comps, trying to, like, you know, slowly win the game. And then you have Wee's Little Bees, so you would never know what they're going to do. And just like that, a beautiful play there from Wee, jumping in, finds the hook, gets the strike right past Natty, calls out the clear. Pretty much all you need to do. It's 1-1 now, and we're getting right into this one, Brickbat.
And I think an interesting pick to look at here, one of the striker select choices that we saw, Carmine with a dash awakening on Juno. Ooh, wow, an amazing strike to start off. It might not get an opportunity to talk about it. So right now, Wee's looking for that crooked leverage, potentially, to strike it through Natty. But Natty, with this flip, it's going to be a little bit safer now. Has to blow it here, but now it's going to be a potential opportunity. Carmine has a flip of his own, looking to get it through the 2 forwards here of Soondubu Strikers. Right now, Carmine finds just a raw kill there with the flip on a 3Z Breezy, an explosive star. This power play goes through, wins a strike war against Gramella and Natty, securing that point. Wee's Little Bees, hey, you mentioned it, explosive coming out here.
For sure here. One thing I'm worried about for the Soondubu Strikers is if they can really keep up with all the mobility that Wee's Little Bees have. They have that Vice teleport, they have Juno everything, right? The character can just move around the map, whether they are there or their slimes are there, it doesn't matter. They're gonna find some sort of impact. And then that goalie and forward matchup here, Kazan versus Era, it's a little bit of a weird one where if Kazan can get a lot of size or get a lot of damage, they can start to overwhelm the Era. But earlier on, the Era definitely does have some playmaking potential with the Shrink, obviously, with that beam, as we're seeing right now here. Natty clearing it out for now, but it's that 1-to-1 barrier here, and I feel like Wee's Little Bees going to have a little bit of an easier time this set here, but as I say that, the barriers open up, and now Soondubu Strikers, they're trying to make a comeback here in this first set.
Fighting through it. 3Z Breezy here, playing very defensively, actually fully rotating over. Might try to get this goal here, but whoa! He goes left, he goes right. The Flame Flurry into a dribble into the confirmed dash punch. Milkman, new to NASL, ain't seen that before, but some of us fossil casters here, I'm a little reminiscent here.
Hey, speak for yourself, buddy. Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm prime. I'm ready, right? As we're getting in here, Gramel. Oh my gosh, Soondubu already losing both their barriers here. We finding both of them with the help of the slimes. 3Z Breezy now alone in that 1v1. Milkman finds that ultimate to clear it out. Still has the flip as well. A little bit scary to be the Juliet in this game currently, but 3Z manages to heal up, finds that core flip here. The energy burst is ready. Natty now has to find the flip here. That's the matchup I'm talking about. Kazan has so many options against this Era without the beam ready. The great tornado coming through, sectioning off everything, but now it's going to be a 2v1 here. The forwards versus Natty. Natty finds the strike and manages to clear it out.
3Z Breezy, the flip now opens up the net for both teams, but it's going to be on Natty to now defend this. Gramella there going to rotate to his system as well. Milkman now, the Supernova comes through. Carmine here, fully second goalie mode. 3Z Breezy tries to Shaolin kick it, but does not get the angle that he wants. Milkman a good interception here with the Thunder Strike. Finds the clear, but now it's still going to be back on his side of the map. The corner offense is coming through. The pass to 3Z Breezy. Carmine calls out the field goal opportunity here. Ooh, and Milkman almost takes the shot, but Natty still a good strike. Able to keep the core alive for now. Wee's Little Bees, no, had the 50-50, but with the strike might not matter though. Ooh, the slides are there, but not gonna be enough. Milkman here has a flip to work with, though. Supernova preemptively comes out, buys a little bit of space here. As Carmine gets a good back pass off, make sure that Flutterfly opportunity doesn't come through, but Threezy Breezy sits right there as a good brawler does. Flame Flurry right there into the net. That's going to be the Soondubu Strikers here, taking set number 1.
And, I mean, we just could not find that shot. I think just Natty, a little bit of aura check there, just forcing him to find that dribble multiple times until that we kind of finally gave away the core. Natty finds the clear. Threezy Breezy does what brawlers do, and he got it done. As we get into this draft here, we're finding that bulk up first pick here, but that does allow the spec to open up here, Brickbat, for I am the Milkman, Big Trev himself. Peak performance on the Kazan is going to help as well here. And I mean, not a whole lot. I would say the bulk up's very, very important. I think the stacks on the Juno is really important. Honestly, seems like Weezlittle got more of what they wanted than Soondubu did, rather. However, it's not like Soondubu got bad things, so all's well that ends well. It's going to kind of be a fairly chill draft here, I would say.
I could agree with that much. I was actually really interested to see how Spark Race was going to go. Nothing picked up. But I think it's also very interesting, Carmine here with the stacks on stacks. You were mentioning earlier, Soondubu was already struggling to deal with the mobility of Juno, and how is Grimella going to deal with what Carmine now has with the bonus move speed that comes from the stacks on stacks as we get later into the set?
It's excellent little callback there. I mean, I agree. That's basically what we're going to be seeing here. Carmine has been a problem for almost every single team all season, win or lose for WEEB. Definitely in the running for, regardless if they make playoffs or not, definitely one of the better midfielders, performing midfielders rather, in the league this regular season. We'll have to see if they can actually end up making this playoffs and keeping their contention alive by winning this game here. But they do have a bit of a mountain to climb in Soondubu, but going to be a little bit one step easier there with that barrier going down. 0-0 still, hunting for this first point. Grimella in there has the flip, but is getting damaged so much. Going back to the Wii strat, sitting straight on Natty, but Natty has that flip. Wii has no size, no energy, not too much you're going to be able to do there, and all it takes is a rogue strike from Threezy Breezy to the top side. Carmine, the slime, did not quite pick that up in time, and Soondubu get that first point.
And just take a look at the stats. I mean, that's 148 power on Threezy Breezy. You got to respect the red cores that could potentially come at us, man, in overtime. Yeah, Carmine, typically one that doesn't get caught out by those age checks, too. Gonna find himself looking a little bit old there in that situation. So as of right now, the Weed, good top spin, finds the KO, gonna take out an important flip as well. And this is just an all-out offense coming here from Weezlittle. They're looking to hit Breezy Breezy, not able to save that final goalie barrier. Ooh, very, very scary open clear there from the net. The slime for Carmine. Wow, gonna find that. Technically gonna send it right in there. Carmine looking good here coming into this.
Carmine like dribbled with the first slime to the top part of that middle barrier there, like right where the speed gate was, into another slime that shot it top side. So he got the angle by hitting it to another slime to get that top side, and Natty was just not ready for it. This arrow, you know, you only have so many skills, right? Like you only have one ability that's ranged, and it's not even covering the whole net when that beam. And then that secondary gives you a little bit of speed, but it's not enough to actually get you those last second saves, right? So definitely requires Natty to have some foresight on what to do, and foresight's not going to save you from a Juno jumping in and taking that last barrier. It's going to be 2-1 barrier here now for Weezlittle looking to take the second point.
Breezy though, looking to make sure that feature does not come to pass. Might not get the opportunity here. Shot gonna come through. No, Breezy takes fate into his own hands, calls out Wii for it, but no, Carmine finds the perfect 1v1 situation. The mobility of Juno putting him exactly where he needs to be. Natty doesn't have the tools, doesn't have the character to win those situations. Now it feels like set almost slipping out of the Soondubu Strikers' hands.
Yeah, and the stacks paying dividends there. The reason that Carmine was actually able to run up and find that strike war was because he had that extra speed. So definitely well played and showing the stacks value there. But as we're getting started already, 15 seconds into the first part of this fourth point, WEEB losing both of their barriers. Still one barrier left for Soondubu. This is their chance here. Even though they don't have the energy, they have the setup to actually get a goal here to tie this up at 2-2. This is just like what was happening in the last set. Soondubu does not give up. They never have, they never will. Let's see if they can get this goal. Threezy on the top side cannot find it yet. And it looks like the barrier going back over to WEEB, who now have a shot at this core, and boom, they get it. The slime on Carmine is once again just enough. Natty is not able to find that one.
Yeah, Weaslebee's Milkman here. So you mentioned Big Trev on campus. A lot of options to work with. Team player, explosive entrance, Stinger, Borg. What do you think he's going to pick? How do you think this draft is shaping up?
This is a weird one. I mean, I can understand the explosive here. You get the impact. You also get the dash awakening. It's definitely what you want. I think anything would have been fine regardless, though. 1-2 punch getting taken away from the Juno is probably the most important part of this draft. But hey, there's the spark, though. It is 1-1. That means that Soondubu has bought themselves a little bit more time. Soondubu now getting that second spark onto 3Z Breezy, and Juliet with sparks is probably one of the scariest people with sparks in the game, in my opinion. Especially if you can get that strength, and with leadership, bulk up, and spark of strength now, that is 176 power Juliet on its own. So I would definitely watch out for 3Z Breezy dash punches if I were the Weaslebees. Other than that, I think just general damage all around is going to make this game pretty interesting, and Natty getting that team player as well might be something we need to pay attention to here, Brickbat.
Yeah, speaking of kind of generally just getting a lot of strength too, right? Carmine, the core speed, right? Having that, you mentioned 1-2 denied, and because he did not opt into a Spark of Strength start himself, opted in for that early mobility with the aerials, feels like he's on a timer to get the awakenings he needs, and well, that's a good point for 3Z Breezy right there, and Carmine looking to maybe not get the opportunity, maybe not going to get some of that core speed scaling that you'd like to get on Juno.
Yeah, going to be halting that scaling a little bit. Has the speed, has the mobility, but if you can stack up that prize fighter, that definitely will help a little bit, just with that core speed on raw power. However, I think this does give the Soondubu Strikers a little bit of an opportunity right now in order to come, I would say come back into this game. They are still 1-1 in sets, so they're kind of even. However, they did, I think, look a little bit worse in that last set, and they finally got the awakenings they needed. So this is definitely their opportunity to take the lead, as we're seeing a little bit of an stagnant early game here. Lots of flips, not much happening. One barrier down for each. Here comes a flip from Carmine, who finds the angle through the middle. Not going to be doing too much. Now, it looks like it's going to be the Soondubu Strikers' time to strike, as Gramilla and Natty just trading goalie positions here. The flip is almost up for the Juliet and for the Era. This could be explosive at any point here. Brickbat, this is going to get crazy, as we see an attempted KO taking out Gramilla, but no, actually the recovery drone saving him for now. It looks like the core is going wild. The last barrier falls. The slimes are doing so much. Carmine is keeping this core forward as long as possible, but no, Milkman messes up, loses the last barrier. Natty finds a save at the last possible second, but Carmine is always there. Carmine is inevitable. The slimes are just doing absolutely everything, Brickbat.
Yeah, what can a poor Era do? You can't outstrike it. There are no tools in your kit to deal with this, right? Back during ye old season 3, season 2 of NASL, it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was considered impossible. 3Z Breezy, an amazing flip KO, almost finds it here. We'll pick up that point later. But right now, Gramella's looking to sink that core in, but the defense from Wee's actually going to be coming through here. Natty with a flip as well, looking to play aggressive, doesn't need it though. 3Z Breezy able to put it in off of a good flip KO. That's Soondubu clawing their way back here into this set, but I mean, going back to that point, right, what is a poor Era to do in that situation? This is, I think, considered one of the nightmare midfield matchups here for the Era, right? Into Juno on Night Market. So many situations where you just do not have the tools to deal with a well-placed slime, except with your flip. And obviously, you're not going to have flip enough for that to be a consistent scenario. So what can you do? It feels like Natty, even though he's been playing, I feel like, pretty solidly really on there mechanically, has been really, really struggling to deal with what Carmine's been putting out, and Carmine has been playing phenomenally. So we'll see how this story ends. But as of right now, Soondubu Strikers going to be looking to end this set here, as they're going to be up a point.
Up a point here and have an open goal barrier, but so does Weaslebees, and there's 3 members on the attack here. Milkman going to be going right back into his own net, not going to... oh, be careful there. The Vicealt going to be almost stone goaling, but has it all under control. It's all handled here. As we and Carmine both there, like you said, the Era, not much to do, but they do win the strike war and find the clear. 3Z Breezy using that dash punch, not able to get too much from it now. Gramilla now needs to stand in front of these slimes. He needs to stand in front of these playmaking potentials here to help his goalie, but the goalie can only cover so much, and the flip from I Am a Milkman, Big Trev, beams it into the top corner, and it's 2-2, even up now. Battle for this third set continues.
Yeah, there it is. one of those, I won't be repeating that saying, but we all know what wants to be said right there. Well played, the Milkman. Grimella already going to be taken low here in this situation. Threezy Breezy has a flip, but now he's also going to be threatened as well.
Ooh.
Oh, does not find the dash punch, but he does get the flip right there, and there it's going to be Soondubu Strikers. The help of Natty there with Tornado sinks it right in. Going to be a point for the Soondubu Strikers, a set for the Soondubu Strikers off of a very killer offense. Threezy Breezy, your MVP. What's going to be happening here?
Lots of interesting things here. You have the heavy impact, you have the build different. Both Monumentalist and Timeless are on the board here. Threezy gonna be getting more of that knockback, more of that damage, and kind of just trying to open up this game as much as possible. Still no more Sparks, Brickbat. The rest of them are going to be coming next draft if Weaslebees can take it, which honestly is not great for them because Threezy Breezy has 2 Sparks, so he's almost guaranteed to get one if they do go to a point, or a step 5 rather. So we'll have to see how this goes. Monumentalist going to be denied. It's going to be Grimella getting that extra special, trying to keep his teammates alive a little bit longer. Monumentalist on the Juno is going to be definitely very, very helpful for, you know, a little bit faster core, a little bit of control here. But other than that, I mean, maybe we getting size is going to help a little bit. We'll have to see if that actually pays dividends or not. But to your point earlier, before this point goes out of control, with Era, you know, being kind of a really bad matchup against the Juno. The only caveat is that it is Era goalie and not Era midfield, so you don't have to take those Strike War wins, but that all depends now on Grimella. If they're able to burn these slimes, burn these abilities from the Juno, but you have no opportunity to burn the abilities, if you're just winning every single Strike War, and Threezy Breezy and Grimella just absolutely, like, clinically put that one in, there's not really much you can do when you lose all the Strike Wars in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that looked like a Grimella play. Wins the Strike Wars. That's the guy that 1v3 peak Demons Raw at one point, right? With just those strikes. So that's something to be contentious about. Weaslebees, they're going to be the ones who are the usurpers. They're going to be the ones that will not keep calm under pressure. It's going to be Threezy Breezy here, looking to maybe get another killer play off of that. Not going to be able to do it, though. Flip comes through. Is going to lose one barrier, but the offensive play is still going to be there. Wee's going to come back onto the field. The offense is still coming through for the Soondubu Strikers. Flip 1 comes through, but there's still 2 more to contend with. Threezy Breezy trying to get possession of the core, gets it with a punch. The flip's going to be there right in front of the net. Trevor not able to guess the Milkman, unfortunately not able to get it through. Soondubu Strikers 1 point away from taking game number 1.
The patience is being rewarded for the Soondubu Strikers. They got everything they wanted. Threezy got all the strength, all the power he needs. Grimella got the cooldowns he needs. He got the extra power he needs. Right, he has a survivability. Natty now has so much less pressure on his shoulders in order to save a lot of these things because Carmine and we have to burn so much in this midfield. So now that Grimella heals everyone up, finds the orb, that's what the extra special is going to help you do. It's going to have another ult here soon. However, the pressure from Weaslebees, without that first time clear, it's going to be so hard to get past them. So both these barriers are already down for the Soondubu Strikers, and Weaslebees need to find this goal now.
They need it to do it. They might have the tools to do so. Carmine cautiously approaching that 150 stacks, but that could be taken away at a moment's notice should Threezy Breezy want to. He might not get that opportunity. He's just going to maybe put it in right here. No, the defense comes through. Grimella has to now deal with this. Flip's going to whiff, though, for the Milkman. Grimella with possession of the core, gets it forward. Threezy Breezy doesn't win the Strike War. Dangerous NATO is going to barely be evaded. We an opportunity, maybe just... The core now going a little bit faster because of overtime. Team player also very scary to look at as well, but we gets a great bounce. A great pass from Carmine, 50-50 shot. Natty caught a little bit off guard with that one. That's going to be 1 point at least going the way of Weaslebees. They're going to have a little bit of a ways to go, though.
Still a bit more to climb, but it all starts with 1. As, you know, they only have to get this set to go to the set 5 here. And sometimes the most explosive and close points end in the most underwhelming of ways, but this one is not underwhelming whatsoever as Threezy Breezy just does everything, takes both barriers and finds a punch, gets the double hit stun, and goes right in. That was like a 10-15 second point to end it here. Talk about underwhelming as we get the first game going over to Soondubu, and Weaslebees just could not quite find their footing in that game.
And I think the reason they couldn't find that footing felt like Threezy Breezy was doing rug pull after rug pull after rug pull. So many amazing plays there in the net. So many times where he found the way to get through I'm the Milkman and Carmine in a lot of those situations, and so many opportunities. 3 KOs, which not a lot to write home about, but I believe some of them were pretty important, resetting Carmine's stacks, getting rid of those prize fighter stacks. But not to mention Grimella, another kind of silent carry performance as well. 210 redirects with 6 goal participation. I think 3Z Breezy, the well-earned MVP coming out of that game. And that looks like a 3Z Breezy who really wants to make his way into playoffs. That looks like a 3Z Breezy that is on his on day. And this looks like a Soondubu Strikers that really wants to take this.
Yeah, I mean, so much is riding on this, right? They lose this and they're basically out, I'm pretty sure, of that playoff contention. So they're fighting for a lot, and especially given the circumstances surrounding it too. Soondubu Strikers, have an incredibly good LAN performance, winning that California LAN after coming back together with a new goalie, shapeshifting, right? Who's not here today, but has been not detrimental, hopefully not detrimental, but has been instrumental rather in their success in that tournament and also in their season so far. But with such a close season, if them coming back just for this kind of one last ride thing and not qualifying for playoffs, that's going to be a huge slap in the face. So taking that game 1 is so important for Soondubu here. If you're Weez Little Bees, right, like obviously you want to get to playoffs, and obviously you want to, first thing here, you grind through the qualifiers, which were probably the hardest qualifiers ever. Yeah, I would know. I played in them and it sucked. They were very difficult. And Weez Little Bees making it through, just barely getting through there. So definitely they want to make a statement. They want to qualify for playoffs on their first season. But hey, I mean, tension's high for both teams, but Soondubu, I feel like, have a lot more riding on this, in my opinion. And I would be nervous if I were them, but they're not me. Who knows? That's why I'm retired.
Speaking of veterancy, though, I'm actually curious. I want to know just how many times a NASL team has debuted and actually made it to playoffs on their first season. I'm thinking, what? Did Last Call did, right? And Bang Bang did?
Season 3 Last Call did, yeah.
Yeah, Bang Bang did the season after that. I don't think any others did that season. Going on to season 2, Oshinoko, I think, did. Right?
An elite club, no big deal.
A little bit. It's like hard. It's hard to do. Remember, 4 new teams qual every season, and I mean, hey, some of them don't make it. I'm not gonna name names, but hey, it's hard. It's hard out here in NASL. So
it is very difficult.
They're hungry. I think they're absolutely hungry for that title. I think that this is a team. They all do enjoy playing with each other. They all seem to have a pretty good ability to laugh off mistakes, to laugh off games 1s like this and stuff like that. And I think they do. This is a team that if there is a rookie team to not crack under the pressure, it would be Weez Little Bees. I think they are perfectly capable of giving us a very strong showing here in game number 2.
Yeah, I think we're definitely here for a series. It was a 3-1, but Weez Little Bees, all those points kind of felt scary for both teams, right? It could have gone either way. I think most of the time, that's kind of the nature of Juno in general as a character, and Kazan as well. It's just like, you never know when a random pop-off play will happen, when the core just goes in the right moment in order to actually, find that goal. But it looks like Soondubu weren't phased whatsoever. Weez Little Bees not quite able to find a lot of the chances they were really looking for later on in that game at the very least, and need to come up with a little bit of a new strategy here going into this game 2, which I'll be real, I didn't even see the map picker draft, so I don't even know where we're going next. I'm not sure if you have that information or not.
Well, I might not have it either, but I know where to find it. That's the important part. Some third man in the. I don't know. Just it could be helpful. I'll just bring up the thread. My little innocent caster stroll over to the thread, over to the match thread. Let me double check.
Wait, let me guess.
Okay.
Is it Atlas Lab?
Let me figure it out. Oh wait, I got Striker Draft open. Oops. Let me bring it up. Place your bets. It is Atlas's lab. Yeah.
Oh my god! How did I know? No way.
Well.
Do not look at the stream.
I had to find it. I had to find it the good old-fashioned way.
Right as you looked it up, it popped up immediately on the stream.
Awesome.
Oh, look at this riveting! Look at these riveting awakenings here, Brickbat. Peak performance cast to last. Didn't she miss me? We haven't cast in so long together. It's great.
Yeah, I've been casting a ton of NASA Nasty stuff. I've actually very rarely been casting NASL. I'm excited to be here. So But yeah, Atlas's Lab with Cast the last peak performance. I mean, that
We
is
just saw this, by the way, in the EKC game.
yeah, that's that. I mean, we got
Actually,
White
it was a
Bread
different
OS.
map. It
We
was the
got White Bread
Atlas
OS
one.
coming through. I hope you like your no seasoning turkey with white bread. But you know what? I guess you are the players. It was a fairly consistent start for a game that means a lot. I guess you're pretty happy with it. I guess. I think peak performance a little bit interesting, right? I think obviously these awakenings that give you stagger and some other stat based off of your stagger. I feel like all of these awakenings have come to prominence. Very historically been very good. Obviously, we came off of a huge bulk up meta where everyone was like, click bulk up the moment you see it. It's really good, right? Peak performance not that dominant, but still a lot of the same snowblind potential. Obviously, with Spark of Resilience out, doesn't have that same double scaling opportunity that we've seen, but there is still plenty of opportunity there. And generally speaking, as well, this is an awakening draft. No reptile remedy, right? No big fish. No of those easy bake survive buttons that are naturally built into it. So I'm wondering if a lot of teams are going to value that peak performance coming into this game. So we'll see if they do. We might have a very core control game to start with, as people are going to struggle to find KOs. But if not, it's a little bit scary to see.
Yes. Peak performance. Very, very interesting as we get into this one here. I'm actually curious, though. What is interesting? No jokes aside, let's get serious here. Let's lock in.
Mhm.
Is Cast to Last is one of the least interesting but most game-changing awakenings that can happen, which can in turn lead to a more interesting game. Does that make sense? Like the
Yeah, yeah.
awakening itself is very boring. You just have longer time, like like whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Who cares? But it means that now Octavia is super bis. Now certain other things are incredible. Now Era's even better, right? And now like there's like these other characters in these game changing kind of results, which I mean, I'm gonna be real, they usually end up in worse games. I'm just gonna be honest with you, but sometimes, very rarely, maybe this is one of them, it can result in a slightly interesting draft and how you have to navigate it. So trying to do it justice here. We'll see what happens. The players taking their sweet times. I think they have to take a vacuum break every time that there's a game. I don't know what they think this is. um this is an incredibly important league here, and I don't know why they're really wasting our time, but we're waiting for the players. They should be here soon. Let's try to predict this draft here. What do you think Soondubu's going to ban?
What are they going to ban? I wonder if they. I'm assuming it's going to be some Carmine shenanigans if they've done their research. What are they going to ban though? I don't think they're going to ban Octavia. I don't think they
Okay.
will. I don't think they're
They
going to ban
shouldn't.
Era. Yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
I wonder if they're going to try. Maybe they're going to try to ban the Juliet. Now that I don't believe they are first pick. Are they? Were they blue side last time? I can't remember.
They're blue side this time, but
Okay.
they were red side last time, I think.
Okay. I wonder because I'm thinking if we wants to play the Kazan pretty consistently, and if you're blue side, right, you could kind of take out Wee's like his two favorite characters in the Juliet in the Kazan. I think he still has picks obviously he's in NASL, right? But I believe those are two characters that he's mostly known for, right? And if you could clinch that pool off the bat just by banning one, picking the other with blue side, that could work as well. That being said, CTL can throw shenanigans. You can risk giving up that Octavia if Carmine feels like playing it. Era as a goalie, if you want to prioritize that for Natty as well, absolutely something you could do. On the flip side, you could do something crazy like the DUBU, right? The DUBU roll with Cast the Last or DUBU with peak performance, right? Highest base stagger. You could do something with that as well. I think that could be a pick that maybe happens. We'll see. I'm actually unsure what Natty is comfortable picking or not picking because I knew him as the Mako player. I know Soondubu as the team that likes picking Mako. I know that Soondubu is
Yeah,
the team
yeah.
that likes picking melee goalies, generally speaking, and we saw Natty on Era. So I'm actually not sure what to expect coming out of this goalie position.
I mean, Era's basically a melee goalie if you think about it, like with how she plays. You get the move speed, and you're focused on more of your strikes and debuffing the enemy. So I mean, it kind of works. I don't know. I feel like Soondubu has grown. They've had their character arcs in terms of their growth as a team. They've been playing a lot more KO recently. They've been playing a lot more of these projectile characters rather than these melee goalies. Can't say it's been working out the complete best for them, but it's probably a necessary evolution they have to have going into playoffs, especially. if they don't have this flexibility as a team, which was their problem before, if I'm gonna be honest with you. That's usually been their problem, is teams kind of figured out what they wanted to do. And, sometimes they'd still get the win anyway, or a good awakening start or a good map would still allow them to do really what they wanted. But I feel like this evolution is exactly what Soondubu needs at the perfect time. But we'll see if they can actually secure this playoffs and secure past, like a slightly better seed here going into playoffs with this win. And we're actually wrong. Thank God. We have an interesting awakening pool here. I'm so excited now. Prime time and Stinger, my favorite awakening in the game.
Whoa.
Stinger, my
Yeah.
beloved.
Yeah.
Um,
We've gone from an Awakening plus CTL into Stinger Prime Time, and whoa, that could be a lot of different things. Immediately coming to my mind, right, that Vice, right, Milkman picking it in a previous game obviously synergizes so well with that Awakening. But on the flip side, things like the Estelle that Gramella could perform out very, very well. Whether or not he picks Primetime or Stinger, right, that comes to mind as well. Zentaro, something that could be piloted by so many of the players in this game, right, things like that. So feels like damage has all of a sudden come to the forefront. Soondubu, though, actually does want to pick up that or ban that Kazan here. Immediately locks in that Zentaro, and that I wonder if they're trying to push Wee onto the Juliet. This doesn't look like a very strong start for her, but I'm wondering if they want to bait Wee into it out of comfort.
I think yes, they're going for the little brawler bait here. I think Wee has the comfort picks that aren't actually the strongest on this start and on Atlas Lab, so it's going to be a little bit harder for Wee to play. Juliet's still Juliet, right? It'll still be fine, but it's not as strong as Zentaro in this position, or Kazan, which would be probably the strongest character in this start, with that primetime being incredibly broken for the character. So I definitely like how Soondubu is approaching this draft so far, but it's a little bit interesting. Weeb, it looks like they're going to go full bunker here. That's what the Mako is telling me. I'm expecting a Juliet or an X in that last pick. They don't really need to pick it now. Yep, they're going to have that Mako era. It's going to be probably a Mako era X, unless they decide to lock the Julian instead. I can almost guarantee it's going to be a Julia or an X no matter what. But I really like the way that Soondubu is playing this. Like I said, they're going through that growth arc. They're going through the damage evolution, and they're playing it. They're doing it. We saw this at a PPL earlier. That Era and Amy, that Estelle and Amy with the Zentaro. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of projectiles. And like Mako Era X on Atlas Lab, I don't know if Weeb's got this one, Brickbat. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, today I'm going to click Mako Era X into 3 and stun 3 Stingers with 3 damage.
Hey, they're committed.
Hey, I've been wrong before. Hey, this is the team that won a series and locked in Juliet goalie. They didn't win the game, but whatever, but hey, they've been willing to experiment. Maybe they've got something crazy for us. Maybe they're gonna go crazy with a full primetime scenario. But I just suspect that we will have a lot of time to think about the team compositions that were chosen, because he's going to be sent off and he's not going to be able to play the game for quite a lot of time. So I have my doubts. I'm sure you have your doubts as well. Mako Era X, obviously something that was a staple in kind of the lower leagues throughout a lot of OS history, but now that we're seeing it on the big stage, into damage, into some veterans, eek.
Yeah, definitely a little spooky. Basically your playoff hopes riding on Mako Era X is flashbacks to Light in Season 1. This is what they did. They picked Mako Era X in every single situation, no matter how stressful, and they just put the fries in the bag. However, this is not Season 1 of Omega Strikers, where the game was incredibly different. This is Season, 6, 7, whatever we are at. I don't care.
Yeah.
6, something like that. Damage is a bit more king now, and it's going to be a bit hard, but if there's anyone that can get it done, it's Carmine and Crew. Carmine on the arrow. Let's see if he can put up another of these performances and give Wee the ball as many times as he needs. Breezy already getting a little bit lower, but so is Carmine. This is going to be a lot of damage here, Brickbat.
Yeah, already Carmine almost sent off the map. Just a few missed skill shots coming out here from the Soondubu Strikers. And notably, 2 slit kicks on the midfielders. Ratatouille. Eating Ratatouille moment. What? That's been a while since I've seen that. As right now, the Soondubu Strikers, 2 kills already. Gonna lose their goal barrier, unfortunately. But Carmine, unless he makes a hero play real quick, which, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Soondubu Strikers is gonna be taking the first point of the game. Already 2 KOs found in 42 seconds of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of expecting going into this that WEEB is going to be struggling in the first set or two until they can get a little bit more survivability. So we can kind of just talk about more. One thing actually interesting I wanted to mention was usually it's the Amy goalie with the Estelle midfield, because Estelle is slightly better at securing those goals, and the Amy has a couple more defensive options that you can throw. However, there definitely is a lot of merit to the Estelle goalie in this situation because of the amount of hit stuns that it has. That in like the close range with that strike into Crystal Thorns can be an option to save the X. So it's definitely a very good, interesting pick into the X by itself. And then Grimella, obviously just very good at the Amy, going to be pretty good at putting this core in, and it looks like they might not struggle to put this core in at all because the entire team of Weaslebees is staggered. One of them is off the map, but will be respawning soon. They have an opportunity to reset this as all the cooldowns are gone, but no, Natty walks up, finds the piercing shot, and that's Milkman going down, and Breezy and Grimella are just going to put it right past them. It feels like Weaslebees are just trying their hardest to stay in close proximity of levels. That's really all they can hope for at this point.
And in the back of my mind, I got this absolute monster truck of about to turn Weaslebees into a fine red mist, and that is going to be Adrenaline Rush. Adrenaline Rush, if they roll it, I don't know, it could be literally all members of Soondubu could use it well. All members of Soondubu will vastly benefit from having it picked up, and you will not get the option to deny it because you are Era Mako X in set 1. So this game could go out of your hands really quick if that Awakening shows up, and I think that's really scary. That's a very scary future for Weaslebees to contend with. So they best be praying that they either get really good or really quick playing early game Mako Era X, or Adrenaline Rush does not get rolled into this upcoming draft, because if it does and you're getting KO'd like this on set number 1, it is curtains.
Drumroll, please. As we get into this draft, we'll see if it is. And no, it's not. Oh, it is! You summoned it. Honestly, okay, I will say Natty getting it might be best case scenario. It's not good. It is still an awful scenario, but it's better than 3Z or Grimella getting it because it's not immediately converting into goal pressure. Explosive Entries getting denied is huge for Weaslebees, that they're able to at least get that, but the bulk up is definitely not going to help as the peak performance goes over to Grimella's way as well. Both these survivability stagger awakenings going to the side of Soondubu. I mean, Weaslebees didn't really get anything to help them here. Maybe if we can pull off some crazy prize fighter stunts and get some KOs, but I mean, their job did not get any easier.
It absolutely did not. And that's, I mean, well, what's left? Oh. Spark of leadership? I mean, okay, good point coming out from Weaslebees, but
fight or flight.
Yeah, fight or flight, I guess. Yeah, fight or flight to keep alive. Oh. And there we go. A NATO kill is gonna find its way onto Grimella. Some hope here for Weaslebees, and at the end of the day, hey, they can get Adrenaline Rush, but if you play better, win more, you can absolutely still take it. Grimella not gonna come back though. Carmine gonna be feeling a taste of some Grimella's wrath there. Final goalie barrier going to go down. Flip here for Milkman. Grimella, good patience there. Make sure he had the best possible option. Flip coming through. Oh, Breezy! Breezy does not want a taste of a dairy right now. He's going to send it right there. Flip burn from Milkman as well. And Soondubu Strikers find their first point in style.
Welcome to NASL. And that's just the difference between an experienced vet and someone that's just starting out, right? Is just knowing what to do in every situation. 3Z Breezy has just the poise and the calm, you know, just the calmness and the confidence to just wait for Milkman to walk up, try to contest, find a shot around him. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do in the moment, but 3Z Breezy is more than up to the task. It looks like Carmine is just going incredibly low, but this is what I'm talking about. We manages to find an incredibly random KO, and a great clear from Natty actually manages to stall the bleeding just a little bit, but not before we ends up taking that last barrier in the end. That's 2 prize fighter stacks for the X, and that could be a possible win condition if he can find a couple more of those KOs, but that might just be a little bit too tall of a task. We'll see if Natty can save this one. Finds a great Rose Warp to stop that one, and a great Tornado going into the corner, but it sends it the wrong way as We is not quite able to get it. Now Grimella is going to get this last barrier. 3Z Breezy has that passive. Grimella sets up the ultimate. Here comes the primary, which Milkman is going down, and the core is flying in. Soondubu just needed to wait for their perfect opportunity, and they found it.
Yeah, absolutely. They found it. They're probably... just a suspicion they might find it again. They might find another way to kill the Milkman here, and well, it feels like they definitely have a lot of tools for that. Bit of an awkward start. Grimella, unfortunately, we get a known barrier there, but like you mentioned, we here actually gonna be taking that second goalie barrier, and with these two prize fighter stacks, has the ability to maybe keep himself alive with some assistance from the vicious Van Brace, but going to be a bit of a tall order here. Grimella flip. Ooh. Doesn't get it off in time. We there with a bull rush to secure it. That's going to be a point on the board for Wee's little bees here, and maybe they're going to be picking up steam here in this second set.
And that's actually a little bit of a mind bug moment. Soondubu tried to kill Wee instead of Carmine. Carmine is definitely the target this game because of the amount of survivability that we has with that Stinger Van Brace, but it's not going to matter if you just knock back KM off the side, as that's back down to one prize fighter stack and only one barrier for the Wee's Little Bees. It was looking so good, but now they're back on the back foot, losing their second barrier here. Wee manages to clear it, but not before their goalie gets put on 1 HP. Has the clear, but needs to be careful. Grimella could be looking for it at any moment here. Pops the flip just in case, and now manages to get back in this. Wee is doing a good amount of damage with this Stinger and healing off of it too, so it's definitely not over yet. Breezy has that flip looking for, finds the flip, finds the bottom corner, the perfect angle. Oh my gosh, Milkman was just not able to get it in time, and Breezy is just winning these interactions against the goalie of Wee's Little Bees over and over again.
Yeah, just superb play, and he might be rewarded there. Heavy impact. Yeah, going the way. I think as a Zentaro player yourself, you're rubbing your hands, but
I'm taking aerials here.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No,
oh, Dash Awakening. Wait, really?
I mean, I might. I low-key might, because I'm a greedy bad word. But, I mean, heavy impact's definitely the pick here. You're focused on damage. You're doing damage. That is what you want to do. But that does leave aerials open for Carmine, which is going to help the mobility just a little bit. And obviously, Recovery Drone on Dewey is going to be helping with that as well. I think Orb Replicator is one of the best things you could be looking for at this point if you're the goalie. And I think it's going to be a bit easier for Wee's Little Bees to survive now. The only problem is Natty has Hot Shot. Grimella has Extra Special. They didn't get more damage. They got more cooldowns, which I guess is more damage in some way, but that's not even their win condition anymore. Obviously, they can still kill, as we're seeing right now, but they have the cooldowns to just shove the core through no matter what the situation is anyway. As you're seeing right now, Grimella pops that ultimate. Breezy has the passive. They have the damage. They have the pressure. This is going to be even higher of a mountain to climb. Wee's Little Bees need to pull off a miracle.
100%. And just kind of putting that, I think, a little statistic in our brain. I mean, how many seconds has the Milkman actually held down Mako's drum and bass? It really feels like it might be like 3 seconds cumulative. Like, it really feels like it is immediately getting interrupted. If it's not 3 degrees just sitting on this pace, it's gonna be Grimella with a glitch pop cyber swipe. It's gonna be Natty with a piercing shot. Even the Rose Ward potentially, right? And there he goes. Goalie gonna be down. Right now, Breezy and Natty going to be looking to put this core in. It just goes right in. Ave Maria. It's going to be sent right there into the top side of the net. Breezy gets a slow roller.
I mean, that was looking okay for Wee's Little Bees. Like, they're finding a lot of damage. They're surviving. But, you know what? I'm going to say it, Brickbat. Goalie players notorious for being the worst at surviving once they leave their goal box. They're so used to that reduced knockback and damage and everything that once they leave that net, I mean, Milkman just went right down to that Zentaro passive, not knowing that was going to happen. But welcome to the Brawlers, baby. Finds that core flip, finds that kill, finds the double barrier earlier, and does absolutely everything. The increased size is going to be doing so much there. That is going to be a huge play for Wee's Little Bees and possibly a momentum swing.
Yeah, you got to be feeling good coming out of that one. And hey, Wee's Little Bees, a team that can ride that momentum. There's a team that they celebrate moments like that, and they have the capacity to really shift things around. Flip gonna come through from Natty, and now Grimella looking to make it a second goalie barrier. Probably gonna happen. Yeah, that's rough. And a flip right in front of the net. Can it be defended? No. Milkman is going to get slapped right out of that point. And now Breezy has put his team here onto series point. The Soondubu Strikers, again, looking to kill 2 dreams with 1 goal. The BOZO bunch now in their 11th hour, going to be dependent on this point, this set, this game, this series. They're the ones to look out. They're going to be the biggest losers out of this, but we'll see what happens. It's right now 1 goalie barrier going to go down, the second going to be defended.
Going to be defended for now, but is going low, has that recovery drone, but Carmine has no energy as well, so the focus might start going on to the midfielder here as Milkman, forced to walk up, has the flip, has the ultimate, is keeping this core forward. They're fighting for their lives. They're not done yet, Brickbat. Even though Soondubu seemed to get the draft Exodia, they seemed to get the better characters as well. They seem to get everything they need. That doesn't mean that they can just go and win the game, or does it? Breezy going down now, and it looks like Weaslebees have an opportunity to get back in this one. Grimilla and Natty both have the flip. This is going to be scary, but Wee manages to find another kill, and it's another power play.
Power play. Natty, though, has flip, but Wee's going to look to exchange it. No, it's going to be defended away, and now the defense all too easy. The strike shot's going to be here. Breezy, an opportunity. Milkman barely reacts in time there with the primary, but the core speed now ramping up here in overtime. Weaslebees finds it though, trades his recovery drone, but this is potentially an opportunity that you needed to capitalize on. Carmine, the patience is immaculate there. Flip comes out from Natty, doesn't get the point. Grimella, though, has possession of the core. The cyber swipe is there as well. Weaslebees need to take this 50-50. They need to win it, but the strike ward's going to be lost. Carmine now walks up. Wheelo tries to get it with the X Maximus, but he's not going to get it. Carmine, half HP and a dream. He needs to get this flip on the enemy side. No, has to use it defensively, and now this is looking tough. We needs to find the core, but it is not coming to him. Breezy going to have another opportunity to score here. Not going to be finding it right now, though. So the hole is going to be popped. Wee now with the spin is going to actually find it, and Wee's Little Bees for another point stay alive here. They need one more point to get the pressure off, but they're not out of the woods yet.
And the constant pressure onto 3Z just made it so he couldn't really do anything. He had to stay around midfield. He had to keep going for these orbs, and he does not have a dash awakening yet. So he couldn't really involve himself in a lot of these plays. And another great play there, honestly, from Soondubu taking their own barriers there. A little bit unfortunate of that play, but this gives Weaslebees another opportunity here to get something going. But no, Wee finally goes down in this game. So incredibly hard to kill for Soondubu so far, but they finally managed to do it. And now it's opportunity for Soondubu to end this game. Milkman flipping on the goal line, managing to save both their barriers, allows Wee to come back online. Now Carmine and Wee are walking forward. They have the tornado, but not quite gonna find anything yet. The flip from Grimella going down here. Wee 1v1 finds the corner, but Natty has the flip for it just in case. Breezy now incredibly low, needs to be careful, get shrunk away. Now is looking for something here, trying to get some damage on before he might go down. The middle is up, Milkman is healthy, but Carmine is not, needs to be careful, but the strike is going to be doing so much for this era, and it somehow squeezes in between the two members of the Soondubu Strikers, and Weaslebees might have just found their way back into this game, Brickbat.
They might just have Era X have pulled through. We're in set number 4, baby. And that is a Might of Colossus fight or flight, built different, all on the table. If this Super Surge potentially could get denied, which the Era could take comfortably, Breezy is going to have to deal the rest of this game without a Dash Awakening. And he is an angry little mosquito, but he's going to be a little mosquito that has his wings cut off. No, it's actually not denied by Carmine. Oh, no.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of think about this, you know, all the survivability is already off the table, right? The only thing that's been left this whole time is more damage and explosiveness, and they did get the fight or flight onto Carmine, which is going to help them a ton. We did get the Might of Colossus, and Milkman, I mean, Missile Prop Mako is definitely not nothing, as we're seeing a KO immediately. We getting that prize fighter stack already early on, which is going to be absolutely huge for the Bees. See if they can get the second barrier. They do now, and it looks like the Weaslebees actually have a win con now, even though Breezy did end up getting that Super Surge. He has the Dash Awakening now. Natty has that Deadeye. They have a lot more damage and a lot more opportunity to make plays. That doesn't mean that they're out of the woods just yet. Weaslebees get both barriers. Wee has the flip, he pops it, gets the KO, and it just goes straight in. The Weaslebees, they found a resurgence, and they're somehow managing to come back in this one.
Was that the Milkman? Did he just shoot Grimella from across the map?
Oh my
god! I mean, alright, we're getting closer to the saying, guys. We're getting closer to it. I don't want to say it, but I'm feeling the energy right now. Weaslebees have found their footing here. Set number 4, Era X Mako, is now finally online, and now it feels like the Soondubu Strikers, they had all the power in their hands, but it is all on a timer. That being said, we're seeing a little bit of a repeat of the early sets here. 3 members low here for the side of Wee's Little Bees. So the NATO comes through, but not going to be finding any value. The Milkman has to take this 1v1 against Grimella and the turret, gonna successfully do so, but at the cost of potentially his life. Goalie barrier goes down. Carmine able to get it to WEEB one more time. No, the strike shot's gonna intercept it. The piercing shot not gonna be enough to find the clear either. Grimella with the cyber swipe glitch pop combo, not gonna find too much value out of it, but finds himself with possession of the core. 3Z Breezy, another opportunity. No, the dash just a centimeter too wide. Right now, the Milkman is able to get it. It goes scary wide across the open net here as we get into overtime. As we looking to find the KO and on 3Z Breezy, but on the other side, Grimella's 1v2ing. Flip now here for WEEB. The 50-50 is coming. How is Natty gonna respond to it though? Not gonna be able to find the core. It's a little bit too fast, a little bit too complicated. And WEEB and Carmine get it done. 2 points here for Weez Little Bees, and I am staring down a set number 5 here for 2 dreams here. Weez Little Bees and BOZO Bunch are on the line. They are on the table for these next 2 sets.
Seems like Soondubu's kind of just lost the plot here. I mean, they kind of just have forgotten how to win here, it seems. They have their formula, they have everything they need, but the problem here is Weez Little Bees is doing such a good job at providing the pressure and the damage back at it, while also surviving at the same time, and they're managing to get Breezy and Grimella incredibly low and save a lot of these potential power plays even more. So, like, if they can find the first kill, Weez Little Bees definitely have the chance. Now, I say that Soondubu is on a power play right now, but Breezy incredibly low. They still have a barrier alive here, and Weez Little Bees are kind of sitting pretty as Breezy doesn't have a really great way to survive here if he keeps taking hits like this. So, Soondubu Strikers need to figure this one out if they don't want to get overwhelmed by the Era X Mako.
1v1 situation, not even really going to be a 1v1. 3Z Breezy just blinks out of existence. The black hole sends its regards. The Aeronado's going to be here. Natty doesn't get the flip in time, and Carmine sinks it in. A 3-0 set in set number 4. Era X Mako may just be inevitable, and hey, if Era X Mako is succeeding in NASL, hey, you know, you just lost the fundamentals, but coming into the set, I'm looking specialized training, team player, 1-2 punch. These are some big ticket awakenings, even though this is our final set.
And you'd think that X would want Spec here. However, he does have the Might of Colossus, so that recovery drone plus the Demolitionist, I mean, with the prize fighter power, that's a lot of power onto this X now. Probably going to be a bit more useful overall in this game, as they do need to poke down 3Z Breezy or Grimella to make this work. Now, I will say that Natty does have team player. They do have a little bit of more of a way out here. 3Z Breezy with that 1-2 punch, a bit more damage as well. So, I mean, Soondubu literally have everything they need. They have everything they could possibly want. They have the extended turret duration too, if that means anything. And they just need to control the game. They need to control the pace. They need to control the damage. But on the other end, Weez Little Bees need to run spoiler. They need to keep poking Natty, keep poking Grimella, keep poking 3Z Breezy. Find someone to just dump your cooldowns on. But it looks like the damage from Soondubu is starting to mount up, and Weez Little Bees are struggling to find an out this point. This one might get nasty real quick.
Yeah, absolutely can. That, not to mention, yeah, the damage, the win conditions are all there. Both teams, though, feel like they have an opportunity to take it all, to take this entire game. Milkman here with Flip has to make use of it to get through this power play. Does do so, but the strikes are there from Grimella. The triangle for Soondubu Strikers is there, and it is perfect. Grimella finds that cyber swipe, doesn't get the KO, but more than happy to take a set 5 goal here.
Yeah, it's actually good he didn't get the KO, because now the Mako, 0 energy here. That's not quite the focus of the damage, but that definitely is an option for later on. If they can find a power play, or if they can find some of that residual damage from a turret or something like that. 3Z Breezy now does have that flip. He does have that passive. He has a lot of opportunity for damage, as we're seeing right now. Carmine going incredibly low, staggered, almost gets taken off the map. A great save from the Mako, going to be doing so much for this point. We trying to stall out and trying to provide some space for his team, but it's just so incredibly difficult against this much damage. They're not quite able to find any more pressure than they were last set. It seems like Soondubu started to download them, but as I say that, Grimella looking incredibly low. Some great primaries from the Mako is getting this Amy really scared here as we're getting to the end of this. 3Z Breezy manages to find that barrier, but not before Grimella goes down, and so it is going to be a power play for Weez Little Bees. However, The barrier is still up. Natty still has that flip, still has that strike shot, has everything he needs to keep this one stable. 3Z Breezy going for that goal, but not quite going to be able to get it just yet. Gramella now going to be back up and going to be looking, but no, he manages to find that KO, and it's going to be another power play for the Bees. Can they do something with it, Brickbat?
Yeah, right now, flip from Natty has to be used defensively. No cooldowns for this. Estelle right now had to be used all in the previous play, but Gramella's going to be back up here, and a breakaway can be found here. 3Z Breezy with a flip. No, Gramella snipes it away with the cyber swipe. The reactions on the Milkman not there. Might not have the range for the core flip. And now the Soondubu Strikers, again, 2 dreams here on the chopping block. The Executioner's axe now looms above the BOZO Bunch and Wee's Little Bees. But now, here in the 11th hour, one more opportunity. Wee's Little Bees backs against the wall for what feels like the 5th time this game. Will they be able to make it through? We'll see.
We will see, and let's try to slow it down here. Carmine gets staggered, but gets an orb, but it's going to be a kill for 3Z Breezy, who with that increased dash range manages to find the Oni's Blade and take him off the map. It's going to be a power play. However, a great flip from the Mako, from the Milkman himself, going to be securing that last barrier and stalling out the game for Carmine to come back online. However, Wee is going to be down now, and there's no energy on either of the members of Wee's Little Bees. They need to be careful. They need to put everything into the save, and they're defending for now. A great drum and bass going to be holding as long as possible, and it's going to be held. It's going to be saved, and Natty has to use everything to save the strike from Wee, but it's not enough. Wee's Little Bees get a point on the board, and this is so close.
Yeah, it's getting to it. We are in the final few moments here. 1 point on Wee's Little Bees, but it could be taken away at a moment's notice. There are no safety nets here for Carmine and crew. There is no second chance. There is no opportunity here to slip up, and this just may be it here. Gramella has the flip. It's going to get sent through and into the bottom side of the net. It goes. Wee's Little Bees and the BOZO Bunch have been knocked out of playoffs contentions. The Soondubu Strikers will be taking that final playoff spots for themselves, and in the dead sprint that was this week, the Soondubu Strikers will be the ones walking away victorious. They'll be punching the final ticket into the Season 6 playoffs.
Soondubu in the closest playoffs race in NASL history. All 6 seasons, nothing has been anywhere close to this. I think there's never been a team that hasn't been 2 wins or less.
Yeah.
And every single team has at least 3 wins, which is insane. The craziest regular season, I think, of all time. One of the most entertaining seasons of all time, and now has led to one of the closest week 9s of all time as well. So the Soondubu Strikers coming out on top, running spoiler, but also securing their playoffs for sure. No tiebreaker to be had for them, as they are going to be sitting pretty, not sure exactly in what seed. We'll be talking about that a little bit more in the post show later on, I believe. But man, I mean, that was one of the craziest last games. I did not expect that to get so close. I think me and you both were so just dejected. We're trying to find some narratives for Wee's Little Bees to come back, and somehow managed to cast or bless them into a set 5 at the very least. So props to Wee's Little Bees for making it close, but it's all Soondubu, baby.
Mm-hmm. And it is just Soondubu. This is the team that won the California land. This is the team that looked good. And even though they had a substitute today, right? Natty looked phenomenal. 3Z Breezy bringing in that old Cosmic Calamities connection through. I think that really did come through. I was worried about the adaptation, but Gramella seemed to handle it just fine. And they lost the script for a little bit, but they eventually found it into that final set. So props to them. They absolutely were the team that played better on the day, and they deserve that final spot here into our post-season playoffs. And one more kind of shout out to Wee's Little Bees. I think they gave us some fantastic games here to go out. They are the team that, it was a joke, but their wins were against Hungry Like Nephew and Demon's Raw, right? Historic, teams right here in the North American Strikers League. And I think for a first season, they gave us a phenomenal showing. And if this is just the first, with the premonitions of what to come, we might have a new mainstay here in the North American Strikers League. We'll see what they are able to do, though, in the postseason.
The next generation, so it seems, creeping their way in here. I mean, I'm going to be real, blowing away expectations. I think a lot of people, to be incredibly blunt, I mean, people thought that this team had no business being in NASL. They thought they cheated their way in. Not cheated, but, kind of fluked their way in here. But Carmine, Milkman, but previously was Zaxmac as well, kind of this whole team has managed to surprise everybody and put up a showing that no one expected. So definitely props to them. Props to the BOZO bunch as well for putting up an entertaining couple of games and seasons as well. It's been very, very interesting, very, very well fought for everybody. However, it is going to be Soondubu Strikers securing their spot here, and the playoffs picture has been found, which we will be talking about more in the post show, I believe. So I might as well just send it to Brink now here, Brickbat, if you want to say anything else before that.
Nah, excellent day, an amazing end to an amazing regular season. We'll catch you guys later, and I believe for the post show and later tiebreakers as well. You're not going to want to miss that. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're back on the post show here, and I'm joined by some absolutely stellar individuals here. Let me make sure that we are good here. Yes, we have to my top down here. We got Vaughn from Hungry Like Nephew. Little, some might say MVP. We'll have to see how the season goes. Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see. And then we have Liari, Bun Bun
Hi.
Bonanza, and then we have Barcode here from Showtime. And everybody, standings are done. The playoff picture is complete. We know exactly what's going on here. Just to go over it very quickly before we prompt everybody with some questions and talk about what's going on. Hungry Like Nephew securing that first seed at 6-3. Lots of teams at 5-4 here. It's going to be a very big tiebreaker. However, based on the head-to-head wins, it is going to be on the standings like you see now. It's going to be EKC and Bun Bun Bonanza tied for that second place. So we are going to have EKC and Bun Bun playing a tiebreaker next weekend. And then we have Showtime already locked in, secured at 4th, and Return to Form and Soondubu Strikers tied for that 5th and 6th place respectively, which kind of only really affects the bracket. So not the most important thing in the world, but definitely means something in terms of momentum going into playoffs. And that will be happening as well next Saturday, I believe. So let's just get into it, everybody. First of all, we talk about the day a little bit before we get into the playoff picture. Vaughn, I'll start with you. How do you feel like your day went today? And as well as what you think of kind of just in general, the playoff picture looks like.
Oh, I was happy. I mean, it was kind of our victory lap today. I promised A at the start of the season, because he was bummed he didn't get to sub last season, that no matter what, he was going to play a NASL series. And so we went through the first half of the season. We got to week 7. We were first seed. Then kind of had a sub in a couple weeks. That'd be kind of. And then we got to end it playing with Aiden, and he got to play in his first NASL debut. Now he did get shot a little bit. It was, I mean, thrown in the deep pool with RTF, but we got to vibe out. Had some fun moments. Had some moments where it's like, oh, W patch, But overall, I was happy that we got to get it done. And I think playoffs is full of some killers. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the tiebreakers shape out. And overall, just very, very pleased with the season. I personally met every goal that I had for this season, so I'm looking back on it and I'm feeling pleased with both me and my teammates. So that's how to answer that one.
As you should, as the first seed coming in here, feeling strong. Liari, down to you next. Similar question, how you feeling with the season and today as well, and how you feeling going into this tiebreaker? I guess we can talk about it a little bit later against EKC, but really just the playoff picture in general.
Yeah, first I was really impressed with Raw today. They almost took us in game 1, and I think game 2 looks really different if they have the momentum from that. And besides that, overall today I was really happy with my mental and my performance along with my teams. And then overall this season, honestly, after week 5, if you told me after week 5 that we would end up at a chance for second, I would have been really surprised. I obviously came into this season winning first, like always. Didn't get that, but I feel really confident going into playoffs, and I really hope that. I mean, I want to get picked by Hug. I want to beat them. I don't care if the Kainub's in. I don't care if Vaughn is in. I don't care who's in. I want to stomp them. And yeah, I'm really excited, and I can't wait for the games.
Strong words there. Very, very excited going into this playoff picture as well. We'll come back to you a little bit later to talk about these tiebreakers coming in. But before that, Barcode, how we feeling? 4th seed. I mean, obviously, as the previous champions, the defenders here coming in at least on that top 4. Are you feeling good about the season? A little bit underwhelmed with the season. How are you feeling overall about today, the season, and your final placement in the playoffs?
I think we're happy getting top 4. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I think top 4 is the thing that you got to strive for most, just so that you get 2 chances at the very least. But we had a pretty shaky season. Again, the meta's kind of shifted out of our favor, and it shows. But I think we're kind of finding our footing again, and I think we're pretty confident to have 2 weeks to prep and get ready for playoffs.
Simple but sweet. That's the Barcode way, baby. Now let's just get into the tiebreakers, shall we? We talked about the games a little bit today. No need to go in too deep with everything here. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes here, the tiebreakers going into this playoffs here. You know what? Guess what? I'm not just a host. I'm also the EKC representative. Maybe not all of you know, but I'm also their coach. Very involved, by the way. I'm not just a freeloader. I'm helping out, so I can talk about EKC a little bit here. Liari, let's have a little battle here. EKC versus Bun Bun. State your case. What's going to make this a little bit different about the regular season game that we had, and what's Bun Bun going to do to change the tides a little bit?
Well, EKC has always beaten us. We have never won a series against them. But EKC lore, they always choke when it matters.
Okay. Counterpoint. They choked when it mattered without me.
Yeah, now they have Borg, who's won
Now
a
they
lot
have
of
me.
things, so he's bringing that
I've
expertise
done a lot of
to
things.
EKC.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the most that I've done this season was just make sure they didn't just completely grief. That's kind of it. I'm their checks and balances, but I believe in EKC. The boys got it. Katsuna should be back in for the playoffs as well, full strength. I think it's gonna go full EKC way, but it doesn't matter what we think. Obviously, we're gonna go for our teams. Let's just go to the other gentleman in the call here. Barcode, we'll start with you, actually. Who do you think's winning this one? EKC versus Bun, and anything else you have to say about that matchup?
I really don't know. I think, I don't know. I feel like I got to give the nod to EKC, but Bun has been, surprisingly, really solid this season. So it's anyone's game, but if I had to choose, I would probably pick EKC for now.
EKC gets a vote. Hey, we'll have to see. Vaughn, what are you thinking?
All right, well, my lifetime S-tier win-loss versus Liari's team is 100-0 my favor, but my lifetime win-loss versus EKC is not. So, you know what? I'll have to go with the team that beat me so hard at LAN I had to roll swap. How can I vote for anything but those players? So I'll go with EKC as well, because who can beat them, guys? Who can beat them? They're just too dominant. So I'll go with EKC.
Hey, remember that for the ballots, right, everybody? Remember all that. And to be fair, hey, I'll go, to be fair to Liari and to Bun Bun, you did just get the underbun buff now for this game.
That's
so
true.
Enjoy that one. Technically 3-1 on the desk if we're counting it, but I mean, me and Larry don't count. So looks like it'll be an interesting playoff picture. Catch that next Saturday as well. Now let's go on to the other one here. RTF versus Soondubu. None of us have any stake in that game here. It's going to be 5th, 6th seed, kind of the battle of the bottom here. I mean, in a weird way to call it, but two interesting teams, in my opinion. Not really sure. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't be surprised to see them both here. Definitely kind of fits overall with, team coming back back together and then return to form kind of on a resurgence with this new midfielder. So it will be pretty interesting going in here. Barcode, let's start with you here. RTF versus Soondubu. What do you think about that matchup? Who's coming through with it, and how do you think it's going to go?
I don't know. I think I'd have to pick RTF. They've been improving all season. I think the meta's again shifted into their favor, and I love Josh and 3Z and Shape, but there's definitely some holes in their game that I think RTF could exploit. I also think, honestly speaking, RTF could beat a lot of the teams in top 4 right now. So I think they're looking pretty strong. They could probably make a pretty significant run in losers bracket, and I think they're going to win the tiebreaker.
See, Vaughn's in a Baldur's Gate fight, so I'm going to go to Liari next. Liari, what do you think of the RTF Soondubu matchup here? Any other things that you want to mention about it, and who do you think is going to take it?
Yeah, I think RTF, from what I've watched, I feel like they always perform when it matters. When we played them, they had 2 subs. So that wasn't really a super real game. And unfortunately for Dubu, Gramella's never won a game in playoffs. I think it's hard.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
NASL West Season 1, dare I say, madame. Try again. Real Soondubu fans know.
Oh, apparently he said in chat.
I went, oh. Josh, you suck!
Oh no, that's rough.
Okay.
Real
Never mind,
Soondubu
my-
fans
Oh,
know.
Real
And
Soondubu
Liar,
fans
real Soondubu
hallucinated the wins. Okay, we thought we won. Thank you, Resnock.
Yeah, so I'm voting for RTF. Leo Leon is insane right now. Moffin's insane. Hungry Boy's insane. They're all just really good. I felt like if I played them in playoffs, I would be a little scared.
True.
Hey, speaking of Leo Leon being insane and whatever meaning you want to call that, Vaughn has his own feelings on that. I'll go to you next. RTF versus Soondubu. How do you think that matchup's going?
I think if anyone remembers anything I've ever said on a post show, it has been me glazing RTF like all season. Like legit, I'm like, this is the best team in the league. This is the best team in the league. This is the best team in the league. Now, is it true? I don't know. But they did kind of smoke us today. So I think there's some credence to that. I've also never seen Leo Leon actually like grind the game this hard. He's been like hovering top 5 NA the entire season. They're scrimming 2 to 3 times a week with On all the time, who also are a really good team. I would be pressed to vote against RTF versus almost any team in playoffs now. So and also Leo Leon has knocked me out of playoffs before. So I have a lot of respect. Actually, multiple S tiers. I've been eliminated by that guy. Shout out to God, was that team Evil something Lemons, the SpongeBob reference? Yeah, someone will know. Someone will remember. So yeah, RTF is still the goats. And those guys put a lot of pressure on the forwards, and Moffin is young. So I'm gonna go with RTF because those guys are beasts now that they're starting rosters back together.
3 votes for RTF. And you know what? As much as I love the Soondubu boys, Threezy Breezy being,
Easy.
one of my greatest and most favorite former teammates and friends of all time, Mr. Gramella as well being one of my good friends. I think I agree with Barcode. There's definitely a couple holes in their game right now. We saw against Weasel Bees, they did take it 2-0, but that last game definitely was looking a little bit shakier. I think, not the cleanest finish of the game. So I do think that they have some time to figure it out here. I just don't know if they're going to figure it out for next week. I think that they'll look great in playoffs, but I'm not sure if they're going to beat RTF on that day. So I'm going to take RTF, and obviously Hook Resets coaching that team. Got to go with the Last Call Brethren, but Threezy Breezy also Last Call Brethren, so that doesn't really, OG Last Call with Hook Resets. It's different, guys. It's different. So I'll go 4 votes for the RTF squad here. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of it for the tiebreakers here. I'm going to go around one more time, a little bit of kind of unique questions for everybody here for just some curiosity in general. Vaughn, I'll start with you because, we've been talking a lot about rosters. We're talking about subs and things going on here. Kainu played in the last couple games. We saw A play this game. Is there any reveal for the roster going into playoffs at all? Or is that under wraps still?
I think some people might know what roster we're fielding for playoffs. Some may not. We'll let the people find out on NASL playoffs day. So
Okay.
we'll keep it a surprise of who
Let it
could be
simmer a
playing
bit.
or not. Yeah, let it simmer. Let the normies wonder. If you've
Okay.
scrimmed us though, you may know, because we've actually been scrimming. That's how you know we want to win. We've been scrimming a lot. So we'll see what happens in playoffs, Borg.
Secret for the fans, but not for the teams. I like that one as we get into playoffs in the next 2 weeks. Excited to see what Hungry Lake Nephew decide to take on for this playoffs here. Liari, Bun Bun Bonanza, been pretty consistent, honestly. You guys have been very consistent this season in terms of your roster and in terms of positions and everything, especially compared to last season. Regardless of the tiebreaker match, how are you feeling going into playoffs in general? And how consistent are you feeling as a roster and just as like synergistically wise? How's Bun Bun doing right now?
I think we're the only team in the league who has never fielded a sub. Which is kind of cool. Besides that, overall we're feeling really good. Weeks 4 and 5, we played against EKC and Hug, and my computer started having issues, but I've more or less fixed that. I feel like we're very chill in a lot of our games. I still am the most emotional. I almost tilted during game 1, I won't lie. But it was like compared to my like peak tilt, it was way lower. And yeah, I feel like Scyther, I want to give him a shout out in particular because I feel like he evolved a lot as a player this season. I feel like historically, Scyther is just kind of his own dude who does his own thing, and he still has that. But there was this one moment in the game today where Lily was playing DUBU and Scyther like passed back to her so she could set up a wall, and that stuff is like stuff Scyther 12 would never do in the past. He's grown a lot. He's worked a lot with Lily and figured out how to like improve certain elements of the game he was bad at. And then also, of course, like a total shout out to Lily. She does all our draft prep. She does everything. She decides my character. She tells me what gear to pick. Um, so big shout out for that. Really, really thankful for her. And I feel like I've been playing like the best Juno games of my life. And fun fact, if you know about me, I've called my Juno shit bad for like seasons now.
That's your one. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yes, I got my one in. But yeah. And just happy, really excited to play in playoffs. I'm really thankful for people who helped me with tech support issues like Spartan, Wallaby, and John Fortnite. And also, I think that's everything. Thank you, our subs and Tempo Melon in particular, for being willing to sit on the bench in case I wanted to sub her in. Didn't end up happening, but like I said to her, like there was literally no other midfielder I had wanted to possibly have that spot. If she didn't say yes, I just wouldn't have gotten anyone. And knowing she was there was really helpful at the end of the season.
Keeping emotions controlled. You know, Scyther cooking, Lily Bun doing her thing. Seems like Bun Bun is primed and ready for this playoffs run, and I'm excited to see it just as a fan in general. So glad to hear that. And lastly, Barcode here. One thing I'm definitely curious about, and you mentioned a little bit earlier here, if you want to elaborate a bit, is just the change in metas and how the game is meant to be played. Very, very different from season 5, right? And we've seen Showtime kind of with the ups and downs. How are you guys feeling going now into playoffs? You have these 2 weeks or so to practice and kind of get things figured out. Do you think that you guys have figured it out, or do you think you still have a little bit more work to do? How's that going on that front?
Definitely still figuring it out. I think it's coming along, albeit a bit slowly. But I think some of that's also been, delayed because of the amount of subs we've had to use throughout the season. There's a few games that I've missed. I think Shianzu missed a game. We've kind of been swapping people in and out, and I think now that the full starting roster is back, and then we get 2 weeks to really prep, I think we're pretty confident going into it. Even in the matches or the series that we've lost, they definitely feel winnable. I don't think there's been any match that we've felt like hopeless in a way. So I think over these next 2 weeks we're gonna iron some things out. Hopefully, make the same run that we did last season.
Sounds good. And while you're still here, Mr. Barcode, any shout outs before we start to wrap things up here?
Yeah. I always give a shout out to Puffy. That's my dog. Shout out to Merchant today. I was not familiar with this game. That dude is a beast. Absolute beast. Especially game 2 in our series. He made some insane saves, and it sucks that we won't, get to see him in playoffs. But the matches earlier were really fun.
Shout outs there, Liara. You kind of had your swell of shout outs earlier, but if you have anything else, feel free to speak up.
Shout out Vaughn and Bells and Kainu. They're all really sweet to me. That's all.
Okay, and speaking of the man himself, Vaughn. First of all, how's that Baldur's Gate fight going? And 2, any shout outs for you before we finish things up?
It's great. Obviously, we're speedrunning a little act 2. The vibes. Shout outs are anyone that subbed for us or not subbed for us on our sub roster. The hardest team we played all season was our sub roster in a scrim where we lost 6 games in a row for 2 hours, and then we didn't scrim for like 3 weeks after. So shout out if you're on the Hug sub roster, and then to a bunch of people who have supported us this season. Really cool. And shout out Bestie and Slot as always, especially for organizing another LAN. I'm excited to go. So I'm hoping to see everyone there. And I think that's it. Yeah, we're good to go.
We will wrap up here real quick for me. Shout out to EKC, having me as a coach. It's been a great season so far. Excited for playoffs. Shout out to all the members. I think they've been playing like beasts. I think most people can agree. It's been a pretty good season for them. So I'm excited for that. But that wraps it up for the show here. Make sure everybody tune in next week for the 2 tiebreaker games. It will be the 2nd of August. I believe that is the Saturday. So make sure you are there for that. And then the week after, I believe, will be the start of playoffs. So make sure everyone is still tuning in. This is the closest NASL season we have ever had. So make sure you're tuning in for these playoff games. Make sure you're supporting the players. Bet your channel points, type up in chat, watch the stream, do what you can, because it is going to be hype. So definitely be there for it, and be there for the pre-show on Saturday in the 2 weeks from now, I believe. Let me make sure that is the 9th. When that first playoff day happens, because we are going to be going over all the teams and we are going to be doing a fun little show for that. So definitely be there, and thanks for watching. And that's about it for me and for us over here at Bestie and Slot. So have a good one, have a great night, and be safe out there. See you later, everybody.
GG's.